Hey, how y'all doing, beautiful people? I know it's been a while I stopped posting. Um, there was a lot of things going on in my life, and I decided to part myself from social media for a bit. Um, I was going constant. I was doing very good on posting daily, but kind of had to fall back so I could keep moving forward. And I decided today, I was about to make dinner, and why not, record and talk over a lot of things that I've thought about life in these past few weeks, and in a way, analyze and go through things that I thought about these past few days. I feel like it'd be very crucial for a lot of people. We're gonna be making some steak today. Some steak, simple thing. Got some steak seasoning, salt and pepper, nothing too fancy, nothing too much. I'm just making sure it's fully seasoned all the way, cause we don't like bland steak now, do we? One of the main things that I've been thinking about lately, though, and it hit me in these past few weeks that I've been gone, was most of us men, the majority, I'd say, we went through a time in our life where there was no support for us. And what I mean by that is a male support could be like a father, could be somebody you look up to, a role model for you, like a father, right? Maybe you didn't have a father, you had an uncle. Some people really just didn't have no guidance at all. And I was one of those people. My father was in my life, but there was truly no guidance to see where I was supposed to go in life. So when the time came for me to fix myself up on the things I had to do in life, I was really learning as I went. That was really learning as I went through life and kind of had to, take some L's or take a lot of L's so I could start learning more about how to do things as a man in this world. And you see, having that lack of guidance or a male role model in my life, somebody I could look up to, it really pushed me back on how I had to deal with things in the future. The way that I would deal with things was, I didn't notice it at first. I didn't think it was such a big problem. I thought that it was a very normal thing to do, to just take a part of my pain and all the struggle that I've been through in my life, take away, that rag fell, but take a part of the pain that I've been through and all the struggle that I went through and just drive myself forward from that. And me being I'm a follower of Christ, right? I wouldn't say I'm religious. I don't really follow religion. I follow God and Jesus Christ, right? But I would pray to him, and I would pray for opportunities. I would pray that everything went well. But when it came to putting this dream and this goal in motion, I'd never take them into consideration. I'd always think that if I work hard enough into what I wanted, I'd reach it as quick as possible. And that's not the case in most times. Actually, and that's not the case in any sort of way. Things happen when they're supposed to happen. Things happen whenever God lets it happen. We obviously, we can move forward quickly, and if we put a lot of time into what we want, we will learn more quickly. We're going to learn a lot of things. But that doesn't mean that things are just going to happen. And that was the problem with me. That was the problem. I noticed that over time, things weren't working out for me because I wasn't putting that patience or that I wasn't putting God in the picture. I wasn't putting that real love into a certain thing. It was mainly because I was stuck in struggle. And I noticed that over time, maybe if I would have gotten to the place that I wanted to, as soon as possible, or with that same mindset, by the time I would have gotten there, my ego would have taken over. Because I remember to not so long ago, every single time that things would go my way, I'd say, well, man, I went through this, I went through that, I went through all these things, and I finally got here. The glory was all mine. I was never, I'd always say, it's thanks to God, and thanks to God this is going to happen, and in God's name this will happen. But deep inside me, the ego was taking over. It wasn't truly a two-part way. The majority of glory was taken by me because I thought that Since I went through all that struggle and all that pain, I was willing to achieve that. And I was supposed to achieve that because of all the hard work I put in. See, we all want this one thing in life. We all have this one goal in our mind that's just it brings that joy, or that, that feeling of success that just feels different. You feel like you accomplished everything in life once you accomplish that. But deep inside your heart, sometimes it's not the correct way you should be thinking. Once you get there, and this is one thing that I always would think about, what's the point of me getting there if I'd be alone? Like, maybe I'd have all the things in the world. I have all the money to support everything I needed, and I'd have a nice car. I'd have a nice real house. Everything would be on point. But what's the point when you're alone? What's the point when maybe I did take God into consideration during the journey, but I wouldn't give him the glory? And during those times, I understood how lonely I truly was. Because it wasn't no more for the love of trying to be successful. It was for the love of, not even love, it was just for my own ego. I was trying to prove myself right. I was trying to prove that if I'm able to move forward and I'm able to do all these things that I have in mind, then eventually I'll get everything I want, right? And that's just not how it works sometimes. See, I'm gonna be completely honest with y'all. I don't know how to cook that well, but eventually, once you move out your house, move out your parents' house, you gotta learn how to do that, regardless if you want to or not. It gets to a point where even fast food is just too much. Fast food, you can't be eating that all day. You can't be eating that every day. You gotta learn how to do something for yourself. So, hey, it's something new step. But hey, as long as you learn something every day, that's another great day. As long as you learn something every day, you could definitely call it a good day. I'm gonna just let that sit for a little while. I'm gonna put some rice. I was thinking about what I could do to put the steak with, but I think I'm gonna do a little pot of rice. White rice will never go wrong with anything, right? So I think that'll be good to go, yeah. You see, during those 2 weeks, there was more that came to mind. I just can't remember it fully right now. But the main idea behind it was, when you come from nothing, when you come from pain and struggle, people that come from that normally tend to base themselves off of that in order to keep moving forward. And the problem with that is, eventually, once you get to that certain point in your life where you are starting to accomplish everything that you want, it's not going to feel as fulfilling as you think. And then in your mind, you might think, well, what's next after this? The whole idea was to get money. The whole idea was to live a good life. And now that I am, what's after that? And that's one of the main things that I always think about. I'd always put inside my head, like, what's going to be after this? What's the next thing after, I accomplish what I want, after I accomplish financial freedom, after I'm able to get the car and the house that I want? There's more to life. There's definitely more to life. The thing is, it's hard to imagine something else than just being free. When it comes to a man, it's hard to imagine something else than just not focusing on your goal, not focusing on accomplishing what you want. But you can't let that detour you from being a good person. You can't let that detour you from being who you are. You can't let that pain and suffering get to your heart, because at some point it will mess up the way that you see things. It will mess up the way that you do things, and it'll mess up the way that you treat people. And that's one of the main things you don't want to ever change. If you have a good heart, you better make sure that that good heart always stays. If you have a good heart deep inside you, you want to make sure that the world doesn't ever change that from you, no matter what happens, because that's an amazing quality to have at all times, especially in the world that we live in now, right? You don't want to ever let nobody change the way that you think. All right, so it seems steak is sizzling up. Like I said, I have never, ever cooked no steak, but I looked it up on YouTube. Hey, we gonna make a little difference today, I guess. See how it goes. I'll give y'all a little review afterwards. See what happens. See how it goes. There you go. Okay. Look, hey, I ain't even gonna lie to you. It's not even looking that bad for real. Watch this. I don't know if y'all can see it. It's really not looking that bad. I feel like I might have cooked it up. I feel like I might have did something for real, but we gonna see afterwards. I still gotta move a little more things. I'm gonna bake some potatoes. I'm gonna cut some potatoes to put in there with the steak. I'm gonna just let the steak do its thing first. And then, matter of fact, I got another skillet. I could do that right now. Let me do that. Man, I know y'all looking at this video and y'all could tell this man has never, ever done no cooking like this. And y'all are right. I can't even lie to y'all. Y'all are completely right, because I have never cooked nothing like this ever in my life. But like I said, you got to do something different. You got to eat healthy. You got to eat way much healthy than just living your life off of fast food and things like that. So, got to make a change. Can't be having a body that you want if you just eating the same thing every day. All that McDonald's, all that fast food, yeah, that shit gonna get you messed up. I think I'm gonna put some butter on these potatoes. It might just make it a little soft. Might make it nice. I'm hoping. We're gonna try it. See how it goes. I was supposed to put butter on the steak as well, but I ended up putting olive oil. I feel like it's gonna do a little bit better. Let's hope so. But we'll see right now. I don't know how much I should get out. We'll see. Another thing that I was thinking about during that time that I was gone was sometimes men are very afraid to make a change. And maybe not really afraid, but I shouldn't have put these potatoes in here first of all. I should have put the butter first. That was my fault. But hey, look, we learning. I'm just trying to do better for myself, okay? I'm trying to do something new. I don't really know how to do this, but just work with me, okay? Just work with me. Give me a second. I'm gonna be learning over time. What I was saying though, I feel like us men sometimes we get stuck up on ideas or principalities that we make for ourselves after we go through a traumatic experience. And it's maybe because you don't want your heart to get hurt again. You don't want to go through a certain amount of pain again. You don't want for certain things to happen ever again. So you hold yourself back, or you make principalities for yourself, rules for yourself that you should not be breaking. And the problem with that is sometimes that's the wrong way of doing things. It's like going back to how I used to deal with trying to go forward in life. I thought that if I moved as fast and as quick as possible, if I was learning and put all my time towards whatever I wanted, eventually I'd get it as fast as I could. But that's not how life works sometimes. Ain't nothing wrong with putting a lot of time to whatever you want. There's nothing wrong with it. The problem comes when eventually you get there and then you start seeing the side effects that comes with that. During that pain and struggle, sometimes at least for myself, I can speak for myself on this, that I would depart myself from everybody. I'd separate myself from everybody because I thought that's what I needed to do. I wouldn't give myself no breaks. I wouldn't think that I needed a break at any time. As soon as I woke up, it was grind time. I just focused on that all the time. I wouldn't give myself a mental break. And it get to a point where I just burn out. Then I had to, give myself like 2 days to get back together and we be back at it. But there was a bigger side effect that was happening within me, was the fact that I was running off pain and struggle. I was running off pain and just remorse for the world and things that happened to me. So that's no way of doing things. That's no way of trying to fix yourself. If anything, you are hurting yourself more trying to do things that way. You're you're supposed to forgive. You're supposed to, if you know you have a loving heart, which the majority of us have, it's just that the world has changed up on us and changed us and made us not show love no more. But when you have a loving heart deep within you, you tend to show that, just not the same way that you did before, but you will always show that because that's your nature. That's just the way that you carry yourself. But the more that you start moving forward with that same mentality of, focusing on your past and going to the future, you stop looking at the present. You stop looking at how everything that's happening in this very moment is more crucial than what can be in the future. Because we never know what can happen in the future. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow or 2 days from now. We only can control and do what we can in this very moment right now. And there's no need to look back into the past because what's happened already happened. You can take the most out of it and, just make the most out of it, basically. Just make the most out of what you have, but don't hurt yourself to the point of trying to change yourself. Now, I got some leftover pasta, and I think I'm going to just warm this up, put that aside as well, just to get it out the way. I feel like if I leave it for another day, it might go bad, so might as well just, get it done with it today. But going back to what I was saying is, don't rush life. I know we all see a lot of people, my age, a lot of people between the ages of 17 to like 25. People are finding a way to rush through life, and ain't nothing wrong with that. I'm grateful, and they're very blessed, and I'm very happy for their success. But sometimes we tend to think that that's our way too. We want to rush through life. We want to think that since they could do it, we could do it too, and we definitely can. It definitely can be a thing for us as well, but there's no need to do that. There's no need to try to rush through life and, get everything that you want as fast as you can. Everybody has their own time. Everybody has their own way of achieving things. So you can't rush through it. You don't want to rush through life. Just live in the present. Live your life as it comes. If you get an opportunity, take advantage of it. If you get an idea, make sure that you put it to the test. If you get something that you want to do in life, if you're having, a goal, if your mind is on the right state of mind and you want to keep pushing towards that goal, then by all means, keep pushing to it. But don't let your surroundings, the surroundings of your present have to make you want to go at it as fast as possible. Because in the end of the day, it'll happen when it happens. It'll come to happen whenever it comes to happen. No matter how fast you go or how fast you're learning things, how fast you're learning a method, or how much you're doing it, throughout the day. It's definitely good, to be determined and to be disciplined, to give it your all every day. But for me, only God has the control for that. So we really can't rush it. Only God decides when that opportunity is going to come in your life. And if he decides that day is going to be today, then so be it. If he decides that day is going to be a month from now, then that's how it's going to be. Most people get opportunities when they're not ready. You must remember, God doesn't choose the qualified. He qualifies the chosen. So it's going to be a process. It's going to take some time for you to get to where you want to be. And there's a lot of trials and tribulations that's going to be there on the way. But eventually it'll happen for you. Eventually things will line up for you. But don't rush it. Don't think it's not a race. It's not a race. Don't compare your life to other people's lives. Compare yourself to the you of yesterday and see if you actually made some progress from the person that you was yesterday to the person that you are today. Okay, so I'm trying to see how this steak is turning out. It's looking real good right now. I'm about to cut into it in a little bit. I'm going to just let it sizzle a little bit more, and I'm going to cut into it, make sure it's right. And just, Trying to make sure it's good. We ain't trying to cut into it and still be red in there, so nah. Potatoes looking fine. The rice is gonna need a little bit more water. I'm gonna put a little bit more water in it right now. Other than that, everything seems good. This light, it's not it. This light is doing me dirty right now. This lighting, I just hope that this video don't come out looking too bad. But it's something new. Definitely something new. If y'all like this idea of me like cooking up and making videos like this, talking about life, talking about better ways of enhancing your mindset and changing your mindset to be a better, more purpose-driven man. Shout out Purpose-Driven Man too. I should go check out his channel. Very, very well put together man. Very well put together videos. Shout out to him. But yeah, a little new segment. I thought it'd be different from me just sitting on the chair and just talking to the camera. I feel like we could cook something different every single day. Maybe breakfast sometimes, dinner, a little supper or whatever, lunch. Just get together, speak about different things of life. Put some recipes out there. I feel like it's a good little segment for sure. All right, so from what it looks like, steak is looking done. Let's hope it is though. I don't want to cut into it and just embarrass myself with it still being raw. Let's hope that's not the case though. We're gonna take it out real quick, make some little cuts. If it is already done though, I'm gonna just let it sit there for a little bit. Let it be. It's looking past well done, I'll tell you that. It's looking past well done, but let's just hope it's good. I seasoned it enough, so I don't think there's gonna be a problem with seasoning, but it might be a little problem with how it got a little bit, it's looking good, I'll tell you that. It's looking real good, yeah. Oh, it's looking fine. Definitely looking fine. We're gonna take a look at these potatoes real quick, make sure they're still doing good. They're looking fine. I'm gonna get a little plate out in a little bit, throw it all in. The rice is still finishing, but should be done in like 10 more minutes. It should be out the way already. Then we're just gonna warm up that pasta. We should be good to go. All right, so I tried a couple pieces, and I ain't gonna lie to y'all, I feel like I killed this. It's not looking any sort of bad. Like, it's a little bit overcooked, I'll give you that. Just a little bit. But other than that, it's looking real good to me. It's still a little hot, but I'm gonna just show y'all real quick. It's looking real good. Like, it tastes good too. I done seasoned it well, so I feel like I did a good job. And yeah, I don't feel like I did bad at all. This is the first video which I'm gonna be doing like this, cooking and speaking about life itself. So it's gonna be like an in and out segments. We're gonna be speaking about the food, we're speaking about the things that we're gonna be cooking throughout the day, and then we're gonna be speaking about going back to the same subject, what the video might be about. But y'all let me know down in the comments if y'all think it's well how I'm doing it. Maybe y'all decide to just maybe like give like little short segments of what I'm cooking, let y'all know the recipe before the video starts, and then just at the end, once the plate is done, we could eat, chop it up, and speak about that certain subject. That way it's not in and out, We could do it that way too. Y'all let me know down in the comments what y'all think. Maybe we could do it like that. All right, so food is finally done. I done set it up. I got it right. Plate is looking real nice. We got pasta. The rice, I was gonna put the rice, but it's taking a little bit too long. Plus, ain't really got no more space on there. We got the potatoes right here and the steak. Main part of the dish. Just set it up real quick. Yeah, but let me say my grace. I feel like I definitely did talk about enough of the things or the main topic that I wanted to talk upon, which was that. Not to be focused too much on the future, but if anything, just live the present and don't put your pain and that remorse that you might have for the world or for certain people be your drive forward, be your fuel to push you forward in life, because eventually that will take a toll on you, just like it takes a toll on you now. You know, at some point, you feel like your life is going downhill. You feel like you're not making progression in life. And I was that guy. I wasn't feeling like I was doing anything at all. I wasn't feeling like I was making as much progress as I should have done for the amount of work that I was putting in. But to me, it was all God that was holding me back from my blessing. Because eventually, once I got there, I knew it wouldn't be good. I knew my ego would be too high. And I know that pure, loving heart that I had wouldn't be no more. I'll tell y'all what, though. This steak is good, man. Steak is looking real good. For the first time of me cooking this, I definitely did look at a recipe and look how to do things. But I definitely killed it. I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I definitely did. All my Louisiana people know what this is. Like, we're gonna be repping our state to the day we die, you heard me? I feel like that was all what I needed to talk about, though. And, you know, it's a new way of making videos, a new way of speaking about these things about life. So I kind of was thinking about implementing it this new way. So I'm hoping y'all like it. And if y'all think it's a better way of doing these things, y'all let me know down in the comments. I'm very open to making these videos a different way, in a different format. You know, so that way the message could keep rolling and it won't be in and out like this one is. But I hope y'all got some good things out of this video, out of the message that I put out, and may God bless y'all.